My ex-husband refused to let our 8-year-old be the flower girl at my wedding, so he told her he was taking her on vacation that day instead. When I confronted him about the lie, he violently shook her and called her a brat for crying. My ex-husband and I were married for 10 years, and in that time we had 2 daughters, Emily and Gabby. It's been 6 years since we divorced because he cheated on me with a freshman in college and left me for her. It was a very hard time for me, especially because he did not make the divorce process easy. He would always comment on my body, saying I was ugly, and that's why he left me. He said he hated being with me and doesn't like that I was not as tight as I used to be. I was in so much emotional pain. I had spent so much time on our relationship only to get cheated on and be emotionally manipulated. Emily knew why we divorced, and she held resentment towards her father for that. She comforted me a lot during that time, and I hated that I wasn't strong enough to support her since she was only 16. Gabby was only 8, so she was too young to understand what was actually happening. Even though he was a horrible husband, he was a good father to both of them and tried his best to rebuild his relationship with Emily, though it never worked out. He fought me for full custody in the divorce, but ultimately we ended with shared custody. The girls would be with me from Friday to Monday. I tried my best, but I would spiral from time to time since I was always seeing his partner whenever I picked the girls up. I was afraid that Gabby would start to see her as her mom, but then the day of our wedding anniversary came. I tried to keep it together during work, but during my lunch break, I went up to the roof and bawled my eyes out. That was also the day my ex decided to marry his affair partner. That's how I met my husband, Ben. He was there while I was crying and asked what happened. Ben listened to my concerns and stayed with me the whole day to make sure I was fine. He even dropped me off at my house because I was too emotionally unstable to drive myself. Our relationship quickly developed from there, and we bonded over our trauma. He told me his story about how he lost his wife and only daughter 10 years ago in a car accident. He was nothing like my ex, and that was all I wanted. He was caring and mindful of my feelings. He was also really fond of my daughters. Emily started calling him dad after a year of us dating. Ben hugged her and practically cried the first time it happened. He said it was so long since a daughter had called him dad. Gabby also calls him Daddy Ben, and he tells me his heart melts every time. I wanted to have a baby with Ben, and we had a son 1 year ago. My daughters love him, but are a bit jealous they have to share Ben with another person. Ben reassures them that there's plenty of him to go around. He takes me on dates, cares for the baby, takes Emily shopping, and plays whatever games Gabby wants, no matter how girly. Ben proposed when I was pregnant, and we've been planning our wedding since then. Emily is one of my bridesmaids, and Gabby is my flower girl. The problem is that Gabby still goes back and forth between houses. My wedding is in 2 weeks, and my ex was fine with it at first, but now he's refusing to bring my daughter to my mom's place to get ready. He says he only sees his daughter 3 times a week and won't give up his days for some party. When his wedding was on one of my days, I still let my girls go because I knew how important it was. I tried to compromise by letting him take my days for a week so she could be at the wedding. He refused. The wedding is on Tuesday, which is his day, and I can't change the date because everything is booked. We argued a lot, and he knows how excited Gabby is to be my flower girl and how heartbroken she'll be if he doesn't let her go. This Friday, I went to pick up Gabby, and Emily was mad. She said Gabby was throwing a tantrum because their father told her he was taking them on vacation on my wedding day. I was furious. I stomped into his house with Ben and demanded to see my daughter. I called my ex a coward for not telling Gabby the real reason why she can't be at my wedding. I told him to tell her the truth or I would. He caved and told Gabby there was no vacation. He just didn't want her at my wedding. Gabby cried and said she hates him. She ran to Ben and hugged him. My ex yanked her away, violently shook her, and called her a brat who doesn't appreciate her dad. I saw red and slapped him for talking to my daughter that way. He was going to slap me back, but Ben grabbed his hand and pushed him away. We left with